Hello everybody, Drew here, tip of the minute flips, or I'm a stay-at-home dad and a part-time eBay reseller. And every 100 subscribers there's a giveaway. So if you're watching, make sure you subscribe so you have a chance to win. I had said last video that I wasn't going to do any shipping today. I can't do shipping today. Left my glasses on, way to go. That's a good start to the day because it is a non-shipping holiday. So my plan was to do a bit of a listing challenge where I'm going to start from my perceived most expensive item and work my way down, because if there's an issue with the item, of course, it won't be worth as much as I thought it was. And sometimes you're surprised either to the high or the low when you actually go to list something and comp it against other stuff currently listed or previous sold, all that kind of stuff. Few things have changed all that. One, I had some pretty good sales, and if I wait to pack them all up until tomorrow or the next day, I will have an overwhelming amount. So I'm just going to sprinkle some in throughout. Still going to start the listing challenge. I think it's going to go throughout the whole week. And so I'm not sure how the video will work out. You'll know because it will transpire in front of your eyes. And then the third thing is I think I might go try to source my Salvation Army today, because I'd mentioned, I think last video, might have been one video before, my big issue is I can't source regularly better higher end stuff, or even just better sell-through rate stuff. I'm limited on where I can source. Tried to go sourcing with Thea, my youngest, the other day. It was enjoyable to spend time with her, but it's not conducive to actually sourcing. It was a waste of time. I could, if I was by myself, in 15 minutes, do as much work as I can do in hour plus with her with me. She doesn't want me in the cart. She wants, toddler stuff. But when we were out, we did grab two things. Mostly, I like to at least cover my time in the store. I went to what we have is a Habitat for Humanity, and they do mostly home goods, furniture, dishes. I used to get a lot of dishes there. I don't really do dishes as much anymore, and they do tend to cherry pick the better stuff and like put it into display cabinets, so it's not really good for that even. So the only thing I got there was some VHS. They only charge 10 cents a piece. VHS is not a big money maker. Good lots, and sometimes, if you know what you're looking for, you can make some money off VHS. The spooky ooky is usually a good genre, especially the less known. That's usually the key, is it has to be not a major title, because then there's just a bunch of them. But I picked up some Christmas ones to make a lot, and they only charge 10 cents a piece. So I'm going to make some money. Like the Christmas lot, I'm going to combine these with, and this one as well, with a Christmas lot I already have. And I'll make off the whole thing about 15 bucks in profit. So it's not nothing. And when you get it at 10 cents, that's great. The Barney one I picked up because I was going to look it up and see if it would sell individually. It does, but there's a ton of them listed. But do look out for Barney VHS. If you find the original first series, and not first as in like the first season, the first released VHS. It was like, I think it's a white box. Look it up. Go to Barney, sort the solds from highest to lowest, and you will see there are specific Barney videos that are actually worth a ton of money. I've found, maybe there's a Valentine's one time. There was a certain one, I only specifically remember it because I shipped it to Hawaii. It was, I think, the only thing I've ever shipped to Hawaii. But there are certain Barney VHS worth money. And then I got two Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. This is another one that I always pick up if they're cheap enough to make lots with, which I have a bunch here. VeggieTales, that's another one I get the lots. And once it's a big enough lot, it's not a ton of money, but they do sell, and you get them for like this, 10 cents. You get them for nothing. And these two may not add any value to the lot, but what it will do is bolster the lot to either sell it faster or just generate a greater appeal to the buyer by there being more. It might not add any actual dollars to the listing. And then at Salvation Army, I picked up this pair of shoes where I only had a few minutes, but these are pretty good. They're a little dirty on the side, but in general, these are in really great condition. I paid $6.99, and they don't get you don't get a ton of money for this pair, 35 bucks, 30 bucks, something like that. But the sell-through rate was very good, very, very high. But there was probably 10 pairs of shoes I would have bought if I could have taken the time to look them up, but it was impossible. So I might also do that today. So this video could be a bit of a helter-skelter. Who knows? My whole life's a bit of a helter-skelter right now. Also, it's freezing cold in here, so I don't want to be in here if I can pop back and forth so I'm not, shivering and whatever. But let's go ahead and pull the first order so I can at least get some type of start to my whole day. And we'll go from there. And it is 2 games. It is Hitman 1 and 2 for PS2 right over here. And this is a repeat buyer and also a viewer. Main Street Geek, thank you so much. Actually bought a couple games in the last video. I will throw your sticker on your games there so I don't forget. But this order came in immediately after I had packed up the other one, so I wasn't able to combine them together, which is still perfectly fine because a sale is a sale is a sale, and I am very thankful for it. So, Main Street Geek, thank you so much. Ian, thank you. To be a little more personal, thank you, Ian. So the first thing I'm going to list, it's not going to be on eBay, so is that a little bit of a cheating in the challenge? Who knows? Who cares? It's my challenge. I'll do what I want. But I'm going to list this guitar. I'm going to list it locally at a significant discount. It's a bass guitar. It's a very expensive one. New, it's like a $1,800 guitar, $2,200 guitar, something like that. I'm going to list it at a significant discount, probably $750, and I'd probably take around $5 for it locally, so I don't have to ship it. I don't have to deal with it. And also, I think I paid $5 for it, but I don't want to deal with it on eBay. It's just too much. If I did sell it on eBay, I'd get around $1,200. So that extra money, yes, but I worked out the math with the fees. If I get around $750, $800, that's the same amount of money because the fees are very significant when the cost of the item is very significant. So that's going to be the first thing I check off the list. So let me go ahead and see how that goes. All right, I got that listed on Marketplace. I listed it for $750. If I do end up listing it on eBay, the cheapest one available right now, and that one's it's okay condition. It's not great, but the cheapest one listed, used, I think is $1,600. But the problem is there's only one sold in the last 90 days. So it's not like it's a hot commodity that people are jumping at to buy on eBay. So if I did list it on eBay, if it comes to that, I'll probably run an auction because I'll be okay with not making a ton of money on it if I don't have to sit on it forever. That would be the rare time where I would probably run an auction. I'd probably start the opening bid at $500 plus ship and hope I get more than one bid. Because if that happens, then I am actually taking a loss on it. Maybe I'd start the opening bid at $550, $575, something like that, just to so that at least if I get one bid, it'll be a wash outside of my time. But hopefully just somebody local picks it up because I've said before, musicians are attached to their instruments, and the guy I got it from, I think he was just in a hard spot for money, and it happened to stick around. So if it can get back into the local scene, I think that would be cool for everybody involved, including myself, because it'd be a lot less work. Next thing going out, A4, is a Schleck horse and cowboy. I got this summer at a garage sale for $1. I did take a pretty good offer, ended up selling for $22 free shipping. I did say I am much more receptive to offers because that's cheaper than you can get a used one right now. That's my new mindset is I need the money flow to get back to a place I'm comfortable with. If that ever gets to a place that's going better than I need it to, then I will back off of how receptive I am. There is a danger point of that where you don't want to just get all your good stuff pillaged from your store and you got nothing but trash left around. Shouldn't be listing trash anyways, but you know how it goes. But $1 into $22 free shipping, that's good enough profits for me. I'm okay with it. I did run what I would call aggressive sale. I went through and I did, instead of doing like a whole store sale, which I normally do, or pick a category, I went through and selected individual items. It ended up being around 900 items, and it was everything 3 months or older, and I put it on a 20% off sale. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run that same grouping, of course not the ones that sold, I'm going to run that sale over and over and over again until it stops being productive. I will increase that sale percentage, and I'm going to run those items on sale more and more aggressive, step that tier and tier up until it gets down to very few items, because those older items, they need to move. I need to get some of that stuff just churning, and to go back through and reprice items and double check items that are $14.99 free shipping, it's a lot of time for a very little return. So I think if I just get more and more aggressive on a sale, that should just work itself out. It worked so far. And so the next thing I am going to list and test and all that stuff, and it's one of those things where, you know, you always build it up in your head to be worse than it is. But I know for a fact it's not going to be fun because it was my toy and it went in the attic and never came back out because it was such a pain to put together and take apart. I was a child, so maybe not so bad, but I do remember my dad helping me, and it was kind of that, you know, when your dad helps you with your math homework type of situation where everybody's frustrated and nobody's having a good time. It was one of those type of situations, and then once it's together, is it that much fun to run the track? I don't remember it fondly. Let's put it that way. So I guess that is my next step. Let me get that out, and I will be adding a video of that if it is fully functional, or even if it's not fully functional, I'll be adding a video to the listing. And just like I said, you know, listing those type of items, it's good if it works out, but I dumped everything out to start setting it up. There's no cars. The cars are gone. So it looks like everything's there. The sticker pack is still there. I never even put the stickers on the track. I think if I'm remembering back, this is a long, long time ago. I was probably, I don't know, 6, 7, something like that. I think I ended up just not wanting to put the track together anymore and just like took the cars and played with my other cars like that. If I'm remembering, I waffled for about 15 minutes. That's way too long to be waffling. I looked up how much it is to buy a car so I could pack it back up, and I'm not doing that. I'm going to list it as is. Also, the market on it has changed since it's been sitting around. That's also why you shouldn't let things sit around. When I originally comped it, when I first got it out of my dad's attic last winter, it was a $250 item. Now, even complete with the cars, they're listed around $80 plus ship. So boo on me for that one. So I'm not even going to inventory it. I'm going to set up all the pieces and put it as parts for repair, untested, even though there's a 99.9% chance it works. I'm just going to put it to cover my butt. I'll put in the description, probably works. I don't have the cars to test it. All the items may be here. That is up to you, the buyer, to decide, but I'm going to sell it as for parts or repair so there can be no complaints on the other end, and I won't have to deal with a return because there's no way for them to get the item and say, oh, this isn't as described. It can only be better than I will describe it. So that's my goal. Finish that up. I'm going to shoot for, it'll depend on how much the shipping comes out to, but it's going to be a lot. It's going to be around $40, $50 to ship it. So I'll probably shoot in that 75 plus ship range. Either way, that's the next one to get done. Unfortunate, but let's keep going. All right, so I got it listed. Couple issues. One, I had it all packed back up and took apart and back in the box, and then remembered I was going to take a video. So that listing will not have a video. I'm not going through that anymore. What I ended up listing it for was $99.99 plus shipping, which brings the total so far today to, I will be rounding off the numbers to the dot 99s. For the purpose of the video, will be rounded off. The reason I don't list things like this anymore, and I try to avoid them, is because when you look it up, you see the price tag, and even if you got that for $5 and you go, oh wow, that's worth $100. That took me 45 minutes. I didn't have the video. It's gonna take me another, because I'm gonna have to build a box, because in order to get the shipping in that to not be ridiculous, which it's already ridiculous. If I ship it to my neighbor, it's gonna cost him about $22. If I ship it somewhere far, you're talking $50, $70, up in that range. And that's after I'm having to build a box to be very specific to that size to get the shipping as cheap as possible. So I'm talking another 20 minutes on top of that. So to make $100, because even cost of goods free, I could have taken that exact same amount of time and listed, I don't know, 30 patterns, which are long tail. That's also probably long tail. It's not just the price of the item. All the other things matter. Make sure you're calculating those when you make your decisions. Again, this one was from my own toy collection, so it was just an inevitability that I'd have to list it. Bummer, there was no cars, whatever. It wouldn't have brought a ton more money if they were with the set, so It is what it is. How I came to the price, I got a feeling this is going to be a very long video. Okay. How I came to the price, because this is actually very important information. In the last 90 days, I went to the sold listings, last 90 days, there were approximately 10 in varying degrees of complete and what have you. There was approximately 10 in the last 90 days that have sold. It doesn't really matter to me how many are listed unless that number is very close to the same. Like if it's 10 and 10, you can be very close to that top. Actually, let me just look just to be more specific. All right, so if you look here, it'll say when I went to the solds for my Tyco Super Duper Double Looper, let me get the glare off here, it does say that there are 22 sold results. But if you sort that lowest price, you'll see some of them are instructions, some of them are just the car. So that's how I got to 10. It does say 22, but it's actually only about 10. So then you go back to your listed. Same thing, sorted lowest price to highest price. You'll see out of the 19 results, which makes it appear to have a pretty good sell-through rate, which it's not bad. It might be about a 1-to-1, which is anything from 1-to-1 and above is what you really are looking for. It's not always what you get, though. So I'll search through here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. And we start getting into the track. 5, 6, 7, 8. This is a different set. 9, 10. Here's the first one. It says missing parts. So right about there. So out of the 19, there is about 10 that are the actual set. So that is basically a 1-to-1 sell-through rate ratio in the last 90 days. So what I used to do is I would go, okay, 10 listed, 10 sold in the last 90 days. I can be very close to the top end because it's kind of a 1-to-1 ratio. The market's not like that right now. So that's not my goal. So what I did is I went to about half that. I went to the price of the 5th cheapest one, kind of priced in that range because you don't always want to be the cheapest. You don't always want to be the most expensive. That changes with different listings. All of that stuff comes with time and experience. Sometimes you do want to be the most expensive one. If there are 10 sold and 2 listed, be the most expensive. Because as soon as the other one sells, it's just you. If it's the opposite, if there are 10 sold and 100 listed, you have to be the cheapest or else yours will never sell. It's an impossibility outside of just plain dumb luck. So that's how I came to that price, $99.99 plus shipping. On to the next item. I guess I'll do this one. This is actually, I'm selling on commission for my father, but it's still worth a big chunk of money, so I'll actually get that listed. Also, in this process, I'm getting a lot of stuff off the floor and out of the way, so that's a twofer right there. So that's the next one on the list. Let's go ahead and pull another order. Speaking of patterns, Pat 64, 61, 63. Pat 64, kind of like some, I don't know. It's not really, I mean, that is bougie. Because that's not like a sleeping coat. That's kind of just like it's almost like a Hugh Hefner smoking jacket vibe right there. And then it has some other options as well. But that one right there, Simplicity 7966, $9 free shipping. So like on that pattern, because I paid almost nothing for it, I'm going to make around $4 or $5. So would I rather sell 20 of these than one of those? Yes. Is there a guarantee I can sell 20 of those in the same time period? No. There's just so many factors. Everybody wants everything to be cut and dry. It's just not how it is. Unless you niche down. And I guess that is one of the draws to niching down, is everything becomes cut and dry. This is how I ship. This is how I list. This is how I price things. This is the range I price things in. This is how long I leave things up before I did. You know, you can really narrow down all those other ancillary questions if you niche down, but that's not always possible for everyone. So let me go ahead and see about getting that one listed, see what we can get that total up to. All right, next thing I got listed, keeping that train rolling of making mistakes though, because I'm trying to hurry. That's never a good idea. Ended up listing this for $175 plus ship, which is great. But I took a video and then packed it all up and forgot to take the pictures. What an idiot. So I went to the video and then I took screenshots from the video, so I was still able to just finish the listing without unboxing and setting it all back up again. And then unlike the other one, the sell-through rate on this was a little different, which still, the nuances of it, this stuff is important. There are 3 listed, none sold in the last 90 days. But when I went to Terapeak, there are hundreds of times that has sold in the last 2 years. So that tells me that that is a in-demand item and not a lot available. So I looked, the most one has sold for used ever looks like around, actually quite a few times it's sold in the $199.99, $200 plus shipping range. And this one has a couple issues, and so $175 plus ship. The problem with big items like that also is the range in which you can sell them to is very limited unless you do free shipping. And if you do free shipping and this ships to Alaska, you're probably making negative dollars. So I don't know. There's a lot of problems that come because you say, oh yeah, Drew, wow, you got $100 item, $175 item. Gotta check all the other boxes and make sure it's worth it. That one, yes. That one, not so much. Because that only took me, outside of being a dummy, and my dad popped by for a second. It probably took 15 minutes. I still have to edit the video to put into the listing, but it will inevitably have a video. That'll take me another 5-10 minutes. So not the same thing. Also, more money. So always check those other things. And here's a major pro tip if you want to be a successful reseller. Don't have a YouTube channel. Because I've done this whole spiel one time already, and then when I went to turn the camera off, realized I was in a freeze frame about 5 seconds into the video, so I had to do it again. Time, energy, effort. If you want to do it, that's fine. Have a YouTube channel. But don't do it because you think it's going to help your eBay or reselling business. It will do the exact opposite until very far down the future. I mean, I'm almost 3 years into this, and the benefits are still not that great, but I like doing it. So that's the whole thing. Pro tip, don't have a YouTube channel. Next thing I'm going to work on is this, stay in that Christmas theme, and hopefully I will do all of the things like take the pictures and make the video, and hopefully it works. With stuff like this though, I will pick things up like this all the time, all the time, for the right price, because I paid $1, so that price doesn't get much better, but the parts in this are worth money by themselves, even if it doesn't function. The plugs, the manufacturer plugs, the actual Mr. Christmas plugs and things like that to all these different motion music box Christmas ornament type things are worth money. They're usually in the 25 plus range, even used. So always worth it if the price is right, because you can part it out and still make some pretty good money, and it doesn't take up any space if you part it out. So that brings the new total up to... Next thing going out is actually 2 items. It is a viewer sale, and the eBay name Lovin' Sandler, but known to me and to those in the comments as Juju Rain. Juju, thank you so much. Thank you for being around for quite a while on the channel and always being very supportive. She left a message, which will out of context seem weird. Hey Drew, it's Juju. I'm still waiting on your Brian tat. And in a video, I had mentioned the movie Pulp Fiction and how I quote it, and I'm always surprised when people don't know what I'm talking about. And she said that's her husband's favorite movie, and he quotes it all the time, but it's okay because her favorite movie is The Breakfast Club, which she quotes all the time. And I said, Breakfast Club is actually my favorite movie. I have a tattoo of Brian Johnson, aka Anthony Michael Hall, and I have a portrait tattoo of him from that movie as Brian Johnson, but I can't show the tat because I'd have to take my pants off. It's on my upper thigh area. If it was summer and shorts, maybe. But I will I'll find a picture and I'll put a picture of it here. I actually have a collage I've started of portraits on one of my legs. I have Brian Johnson from The Breakfast Club. I have Stevie Nicks. I have Freddie Mercury. I have Frank Sinatra. I have others I hope to get someday, but the last one I got was before the 3rd child came, and so money for tattoos is kind of not really a thing anymore. I plan to fill out the rest of the leg eventually. But let's go ahead and pull those orders for a Juju. First one, D5A, is a lot of horses, which is this bucket. I always get so confused when it's a place I forget exists. And this was in the same lot I mentioned maybe 2 videos ago, where I bought a large lot of horses, some Schleck, some Breyer. So this lot was, I think, what was remaining of maybe some no-name branded stuff or something like that. And I just put the rest of them into one lot. And for that lot, $21.98 free shipping. That was on sale, I assume. Actually, no, let me rephrase that. The whole order is $21.98 free shipping. I'm not sure how much that was individually. And then the next item was C1A. It is vintage lusterware right back here. And they are avocado green measuring cups. And Juju has previously purchased from me that same kind of motif. I think there was some Tupperware tumblers in like the fall colors, the harvest colors. And if I'm not mistaken, maybe a throw blanket in those kind of colors, I think. But she's purchased a few things from me. Always been supportive, like I was saying. And also, bonus, combining free shippers, I save money, therefore make more money, more money, more money. And because you've been so supportive for so long, I'm going to bump you up to a magnet in your order. So let me go ahead and grab that and put it with it right now before I forget. Actually, you know what? Magnet's not even good enough. You've been so good to me. Pretty sure you watch with your family too. So hello to the whole family. I'm giving you one of the big stickers. One of the big stickers, which all of the stickers and magnets have been donated by the Lowrys. Another family that's been very supportive to me. I don't want to give it away too soon, but Joan Lowry has also, I guess I'll tease it. There's a new holiday logo coming out after Halloween. I'll put it as my new thumbnail and all that kind of stuff. Before Halloween, I don't know. So it might be a hint at which holiday that is. But Juju, thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's going out. Well, not today, because today's a holiday. It's going out tomorrow. All right, that one was fully functional. I remembered to do the video, take the pictures. I had a couple minor issues. Somebody was a little crafty with the snow. They painted over top of it. I don't think it really affected it much. I ended up pricing it $99.99 plus shipping, which brings the total to... And while I was doing it, because stuff like this I don't list very often, I don't pack things like that very often, so a lot of the tips I used to give, I just don't give anymore. But 2 that came to mind while I was doing it, a way to add some professionalism for very little money is if you have something with cords, like controllers to a PlayStation or a plug to something like that, buy black twist ties. Or you can buy black rubber bands. I don't really care for rubber bands though, because they can pinch the cords. They can put too much tension on them. But it's so cheap to pick up 100. I bought, I think, 500, maybe 1,000. 3 years ago. And I just have them for when I need them. If you have nothing else, yes. But don't use the twist ties from your bread bag. Don't use brown rubber bands. It just doesn't look good. And the amount of money that black twist ties cost, it's worth it. It adds some professionalism. Again, if you have nothing else, that's fine. But when you want to make those little steps, those little differences, those things that get customers to come back, give customer confidence when they purchase something, that's an easy one and a cheap one to do. Another thing is, I've been seeing this so much, is people will have a photo station and they'll have something like I use, like this, like a white backer or something, but then they'll take their picture like this. And there will be the white backer and then the whole background still in the picture. Or this is a good one right here, where they take the picture and their shoes are in the picture. Make sure your pictures look good. Seems simple, but a lot of people out there don't do it. And that's great, because then those people are going to buy my item or your item if you do those little things that to most people go, yeah, of course I'm going to take good pictures. But shockingly, some people don't. Or they'll take the effort of having the background and then still they'll take the picture like this and it'll have the Windex bottle and the stuff in it. It blows my mind. And some people still buy those items because they usually get a better price or whatever. So when you're shopping, it's not a bad thing. But when you're trying to sell things, appearance does matter. Next thing going out, C2 is a Build-A-Bear puppy. Back here, Build-A-Bear puppy. Oh, and here's the rest of those horses, and actually the box I bought them in. All horses. $8. I might not even paid the full $8. I think I actually got this at that same sale. I don't remember exactly though. I did get it at a garage sale this summer. I probably paid less than $1. I don't really recall, but I got $11.99 free shipping. I think I sent out an offer and it was also in the 20% off sale. You know, if I paid less than $1, good. If I paid $1, not so good. And so what's the next thing on the list? Next thing on the list is lunch, that's for sure. Well, I don't remember what you get for them, but I got a GameCube down there. So my guess is the GameCube, but I'm actually, before that, I'm gonna jump in line and do these books so I can continue a little bit of the also getting stuff out from under my feet. So I'll do the books and then I'll move on to the GameCube. All right, that went about as good as I could have expected, which was bad. I need 4 more books to make this a big enough, let me rephrase that, to make this a complete enough set to make it worth listing. The whole set for the Alex Cross, I think is 29 books, but then there's some, what they call book shots, which are like little side stories. Usually they're a lot thinner, and those don't really, when you're putting a lot together, you don't have to consider those when you're putting together a complete lot. And I think it's 29 of them. I don't have that even close to that, but 4 more. I should be able to get all 4 of those for, you know, if I can get them all from the same bookseller, the big box booksellers, 10, 12 bucks. I should be able to get all of them free shipping. And then this will be around a, I don't know, maybe $70, $75 free shipping, something like that, somewhere in that range. So again, with the book lots, it's not a big dollar thing. It's just something that I have found that I can find. So that's what that turns into. But to add to the total of listed stuff, another $25. The rest of the books, you know, because like this goes to the Murder Club series, which I also list, but I have another set started here and some here. I had too many copies of some of them. I don't need 3 copies sitting in back stock, just waiting around. So some of those also ended up in, and I had a mixed lot that had been listed forever. I pulled that out of the store and I just put it on Marketplace, 25 books, $25. I think that's a fair price. Even if somebody gives me 20 bucks and it gets it out of here, I will still technically make money because I rarely pay more than 50 cents for a book, and just to get it out of the way. That sometimes is worth, I wouldn't say losing money, but sometimes that's worth the wash or very little money. It's just to get things moving. I did make a pot of coffee because it's getting to that 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon time where I start to just lose it. I just got nothing left, and I find myself just kind of wandering and, you know, not being able to just actually get any work done. So what I think I'm going to do is, for the remainder of my workday, is I'm going to hop on the computer, list some patterns, and then I'm going to, you know, edit some video, that kind of stuff. And then because I'm fairly sure this is turning into a long video, I'm going to make this into not really 2 parts, but I'm going to separate both days. I was going to put them together, but I'll just separate both days, and we'll continue this series into the next day. And in the next video. As I've been making this video, it's been a little more fun to make than my normal poll videos. So I don't know if this kind of video is better for you guys out there, where I do a little bit of what I'm doing through my day included with the polls and all that. So if you like this style, let me know, and maybe I'll do some more of this going forward. But at the very least, I will continue this series into tomorrow because I have no reason not to. But let's go ahead to cap out the video, pull one more order. So next up, A5 is Vintage Corningware Sidekick. A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One right here. And speaking of things that I sell regularly and pick up regularly, is these sidekicks. Corning sidekicks. I said I'm mostly out on dishware. That's one of the items I still sell, as well as these back here, which are called Grab-It bowls. These sell very well. They are used in restaurants, and then anybody who likes to do fancy cooking around their house. And so this is a high sell-through rate item. If you price it right, they sell. So when you get them cheap enough, then they're worth picking up. Because for that single one right there, on sale, $14.39 free shipping. And this will go ground advantage under a pound, formerly First Class. So if you get this for under $1, that's good money. Because let me see what that weighs. That weighs 9 ounces, so I can still put that in a box if I wanted to, but I probably won't. I'll probably do 2 loops of medium bubble wrap, do one direction, then do a second one the other direction, and put that in a poly bag, and it should be good to go. I'm pretty sure that's how I did it the last time. I'll decide that when I pack it up, but it still leaves me room to, I could use a box if I had a small enough box, but I probably won't. Probably just double or even triple up on bubble wrap, because the difference between how much a loop of bubble wrap weighs and a box is significant. Let's do an experiment. So as you can see, I teared out which means 0 out the scale, throw on the bubble wrap. We got 0.1 ounces and a box. This one right here that I'd probably use 3.2 ounces. So I could use a half a roll of bubble wrap and it still wouldn't weigh as much as this box. And at a certain point, bubble wrap over and over and over again is going to be more protection than a box even could be. So again, I'll make that decision when I go to pack it up. Who knows? Sometimes I'm feeling boxy, sometimes I'm feeling bubbly. Well, that's going to be all for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. Subscribe, share, and be good to each other. Just really neat. Hey, little Pete. Do they ever really fix things? I have no idea what this is. What do I care? Let go. I'm good at this.